Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 98 of the Purple Hyacinth Story Tinker podcast called Conflicting Collaboration. And today we are with Lilia and Fwoot.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. And Lilia will start us off. And to recap from last time, we are running around in the factory and the Phantom Scythe guards have just sounded the alarm and said, find them and kill them. So here we are. That's how we open up.
All right. So the episode title is Conflicting Collaboration, which it kind of draws back to 𝗪𝗪𝗱𝗃, like it's another reluctant alliance forming.
Oh,
and
it
opened.
I so totally forgot. I was going to do the first part, right? Sorry. Yes. Okay. I guess I'm tired. Sorry. Okay. So sorry. Yes. You can finish off what you wanted to say about the conflicting collaboration. Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much like it's another reluctant alliance forming. It's kind of built on shaky trust. That's kind of what I was going to say for that part. But yeah, you go ahead, please.
It's an alliance, not alliance. It's an alliance that I don't think either party really wants to be in right now. Maybe Kym, because she's curious about Lune and she wants her suspicions confirmed. But I feel like Lauren and Kieran are definitely in the worst spot imaginable for them. Like, it just had to be the officers that they personally knew.
Right.
Especially like, okay, I've had this question for a while, but why is it why is it Kym and Will responding to a problem in the 13th precinct, especially a bomb threat? Like, wouldn't it be easier if they had some 13th precinct person come in? Because and faster, right? Because it took them a while to get there, and if there's a giant bomb threat, then they're going to need people in the area. But Kym and Will should have been operating in the 11th precinct, not the 13th precinct.
Or maybe they're the only competent ones. But
yeah,
isn't the glass factory in the 11th precinct?
I think it's in the docks, right? Because that's what led them to the docks. Lauren found that red dusty smoke stuff on Fleming's coat, and then in episode 93, I believe, she realized it's from the docks, and it was because Fleming's had been to the glass factory, which
but I thought when she was talking to Sandman, she mentioned that the factory was in the 11th. Or he told her that it's in the 11th. But
really,
I think so.
In the episode where he skips the stone over the river.
Yeah. It would make sense that they are in the 11th.
What was Fleming's doing at the docks?
Well, I guess it arrives at the docks. It would arrive at the docks and then it would get transported to the factory, because the factory doesn't seem very far from the...
But there's still the 12th precinct in between them. 12th or 1st, I don't remember which one of them. Sorry, not, yeah.
Right, I'm looking at...
In the 11th, you're right. She's had several jobs as manager and is currently the director of the glass factory on Sherbrooke Street in the 11th as well. Yeah, wow. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess that answers the question. All right, so they are running. Kym has this hilarious expression on her face, and she's like, Will, remember what we talked about earlier? And Will, who also has this funny expression on his face, says, what? And she says, they are definitely all Phantom Scythe members. It's just so funny. That look, it's just hilarious.
It's a way to get your your suspicions confirmed is to be thrown right in the middle of action.
So funny. I had to tell you I was right. And then a door clacks open and we see a bunch of members coming out with their guns drawn, which I'm like, why are you drawing your guns? Didn't you just say don't shoot? But okay. I guess not on every floor necessarily, maybe. And they're like, after them. And we have our logo. And then this I find odd. Kym says to Lune, we got it, we'll join you upstairs. And Lauren and Kieran are looking at them. They kind of pause, and Kym, who is sweating, she says, go, and at that, they go down, and then Lauren kind of looks sweating, and then, and then it goes on. But why do you think they're telling Kym told them to go, like, we'll take care of the people on bottom. Like, what was the purpose of that?
I think Kym doesn't want to be put in a position where she has to arrest them. So she's kind of giving them a chance to run away. Yeah. That's what my take on it.
I also think that Kym acknowledges that Lune know more about this current situation than she does. So it's better if like they do the investigating, because like, you know, they're already ahead of her. And then also I think she thinks that Lune is more important than her, so she's making a little bit of a self-sacrifice because of how much they know again and how far they've gone and how much they've accomplished, that like their safety is what's most important in this scene right now.
And Lauren is definitely uncomfortable with it, you know, because Lauren herself is the kind of person to always, you know, step up to the plate and be there first. So it's not easy for her to like run away, you know.
And they are her best friends. So right. Like from the beginning, she did not want to put them in a position where what Lune does like hurts them in any way. But right now, that's pretty much what's happening.
Yeah. And Kym, while she's running down with this like giant mouth expression, says, you know, I wanted to sound cool, but running towards guns isn't my favorite hobby. So like she goes from like, you go upstairs, we'll take care of it, to like, oh my god, what did I do?
Kym is a shining knight in incredibly dull armor.
She gets shot at right now. Like, I guess they decided that like shooting in a stairwell is safe, like it won't hurt the nitroglycerin, because she literally dodges a bullet and it goes in the corner, which by the way, not that I'm very well versed in bullets, but I would imagine that would ricochet and like be very, very dangerous as it ricochets as well. But okay.
I think the reason that they didn't shoot before was because they were discovered in the nitro room. So if they shot in that room, then like stuff would blow up. But at this point, they're not in an area that would really blow up if it was hit by a bullet. So
at least like they briefed the employees on how dangerous it is. Like it's not like the employees are blind to what they're transporting. I think that's good.
Oh, they're phantom sites probably.
They would probably
actually, yeah, doesn't it seem like a bit of a liability? Like, how is the police not found out about this? Like having so many people know, like 40 people. People think the moon landing was faked.
So Kym's like, runs away, and Lauren and Kieran are running up the stairs meanwhile. And as they are on the landing, the orange-haired mustache guy opens up the door and says, "Over here." At which point Lauren kind of gives this like roll of her eyes, and I'm not quite sure what she's doing here. She slams her fist against something and shoves off against the wall and gives him like a massive kick in his face.
She just completely tackled him. Like she
parkour.
Like parkour. Black Widow.
Yeah, I thought it was her foot hitting his face, but no, it's like her foot is going under his arm and then her hand is around his face, and yeah, it's very impressive. And yeah, she gets him on the ground and cracks something, I guess a bone in his body.
Painful.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Kieran's knocking out another guy in the background, and Lauren's like, 3 for me. She's counting. And then Kieran continues to knock out, either it's another guy or it's the same guy. And he says, "My most sincere congratulations for your imminent loss, darling." I'm at 4. I'm sorry, I will always maintain that Kieran says darling because it's like expressing the innermost feelings of his heart.
Well, I'm glad he's at a point where he's comfortable saying that, at least.
I don't remember if he said darling before, but I think I remember someone saying like a really long time ago.
Don't worry, I remember he did.
Like pre-episode 43, right?
Yeah, the last time he said darling was the infamous episode. So
I think he said darling in a non-infamous episode as well, pretty sure. Oh, so. And now Lauren gets surrounded by, I think it's one of the same guys that we saw like in the early episode, the first episode when they were in the factory. He grabs her from the back and he says, "Don't move," but Lauren does not let him get away with this because she immediately does a series of moves to disarm him. She jabs him with her elbow, steps on his foot, jabs her elbow in his face, and hits him in the balls. And he's down. And she goes, tips her hat. She's like, and 4. So now she's caught up with Kieran. And Kieran's like, oof, poor man. He's like, shoot, you're catching up to me.
Oh my God. I swear, like, you know, I feel like Kieran would regret this less. Like, I feel like Kieran would be all right with murder if it meant like one-upping Lauren.
I don't think so, but like I'm assuming that in all this time it seems like they've only disarmed, you know, or knocked these people unconscious. I think both of them are pretty careful not to kill them. I mean, you know, Kieran probably has a dagger or something with him. I'm sure he could kill them if he wanted to, but we know he doesn't unless he has to. So yeah. So now they look around and they're like, oh, this basement is cleared. Seems like most of the guards are on the main floor. Kym and Will are probably still downstairs. We have to make sure they make it out unscathed. So yeah, Lauren is definitely concerned for their safety. And she says, I have an idea. Now we go down to the main floor. It seems like there's like 6 people down there, and they're like, over here. And now we have the elevator coming down, chunk, chunk, chunk. And the guys are looking, people, not all guys, are looking at the elevator. Their guns are drawn, and it goes ding, ding, ding. And there's just some boxes on the elevator, and they get confused. It's like the oldest trick in the book, by the way, confuse your enemy. They're like, hello? So I guess they're a little nervous. And now somebody who is behind the boxes kicks them over, and they're all tumbling over. Their boxes were on a dolly, and Lauren and Kieran were behind them. And at this point, they realize, like, oh, there's someone on the elevator, and they start shooting. I guess none of them hit them. And Will and Kym are behind them, running. And Kym says, don't look behind you. Just like, why does she say that?
She's alerting them to herself.
I don't know. It's like, you know, like there's this thing someone once showed me, this very funny line of like typical things that happen in movies where, like, and one of them is where like the evil guy, the bad guy has the good guy captured, and he tells him his whole plot for like everything he's gonna do, because he thinks that like he's about to kill the good guy. Then the good guy ends up escaping, and now he knows the whole plot. So like I feel like Kym is doing that too. Like giving herself.
Oh my God, that trope, I really hate that trope so much. It just makes no sense at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you're telling me that this guy could destroy the world if they wanted to, but at the same time they would willingly give like their Netflix password to anyone. You're telling me that? Like, seriously?
Spend 5 minutes explaining everything and like giving all the information away. It's like, don't you know the good guy is going to get away and use that information?
And almost all like they leave them unattended. Like, if you're smart enough to devise this whole plot, like, aren't you smart enough to not leave like somebody who's been from the beginning trying to like overthrow the whole thing like unattended in the middle of like somewhere close to oh God, like in a place that's they could easily like overthrow the whole thing. I don't know. But it works for works for a lot of movies.
Yeah, we make it work, right? We write them. So anywho, Kym gives herself away, says, don't look behind you because I'm here. And reminds me of the song when I was a teenager. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. So Will whacks a guard, incapacitates him. And then, I don't know, there's bodies on the floor. I'm not quite sure who's whose. Kym is elbowing another guy in the face. Another guy gets slammed against a pillar. Someone gets thrown against a wall. And yeah, miraculously, the two of them, well, the truth is, I guess they had Kieran and Lauren there too, have taken down everyone else on that floor. And you can take over, Lilia.
All right. So I guess this panel is, where eclipse is formed, I would say. Good plan, guys. And then Kym says, but not gonna lie, your charade was terrible. And then Lauren doesn't talk. because I guess her voice definitely would give her away. But at this point, I think everybody knows who everyone is.
I know, it's impossible for them not to. What do you think? I think that like as soon as the lights went on, they're like, yeah, it's them.
Because those Lune masks are like the equivalent of seeing your friend in a face mask and a baseball cap. Like it doesn't hide much. And like their distinctive features, like
actually, okay, funny story. I have to say, Lauren hasn't done this, but like since I'm like going back to like in-person school, and I see people from like previous years, I cut my hair short this year, and with a mask and eyeliner, no one knows who I am. Like I'll see them, I'll recognize them in the hallway, like some old teacher, I'll be like, oh hey, whatever their name is, and they'll be like hi, and then they'll like not realize who I am, and it's literally my favorite thing in the world right now. So Kym has good eyes, but I don't know, with Lauren's hair tied back in with the hat, she might not fully recognize Lauren, though I think she can definitely tell it's still Lauren.
But like Lauren and Kieran both have very distinctive eye colors. Like that's like a dead giveaway. And also like you also have their physical, like their heights and stuff. Like
yeah,
like you could I don't know, when I see people like from the back, like I could know who they are by their mannerism. So like the way they're like their posture and stuff. So even if she can't see her face clearly, like there's other indicators that would give it away. So I personally think that everybody knows who everyone is.
Yeah.
I feel like weird that Lauren and Kieran are still keeping up the, as she says, her terrible charades by not talking.
But I don't think Will would recognize Lauren if it weren't for Kym. Because Kym's been the one who's really been like leading this suspicion thing. So because Kym put the idea of Lauren being Lune in Will's head, he recognizes her, but I think without that he probably wouldn't have recognized her.
I think at this point they're very obvious.
Like Will was already primed to see Lauren as Lune as including Lauren, so I think I think it's pretty much confirmed, but I guess we'll see what happens next. So Will realizes that there's more guards coming, and they all hide behind craters. I think that's what they're called. And Kym looks at Lauren, who's looking away, and she seems kind of conflicted, and she thinks back to when their eyes met when Lauren was about to, I guess, punch Kym. And somebody pulls up like hand signs, 2, 3. Oh, I guess they're telling them how many there are.
I thought she was saying counting down, like 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna move.
Yes, and then something gets thrown. Oh, that's a distraction. Distracted the guards, and I don't know what they just threw at them. It's like, is that like it's like a piece of wood, or is, oh god. So yeah, they get some like a large piece of wood thrown at them, the guards, and they fall to the floor.
Yes, that's a pallet. The second thing is a pallet.
Oh, it's a pallet. See, I'm really bad at like making out what's happening in action scenes. Yeah, so someone gets slammed. I guess they disarm the Kym, and yeah, Kym disarms one of the guards. And one of the bottles gets broken, but it seems like an empty bottle. Wait, why is he carrying an empty bottle? And yeah, so what do you think of that? You have a lot of bodies on the ground.
And did she use it as a weapon? I mean, empty bottles, an empty broken glass bottle can cause a lot of damage.
Loki, okay, I know like suspension of disbelief, but like I'm surprised that Lune and Soleil were able to so easily take down 40 armed people and like none of them getting shot, because like you'd think that these people would be trained, right, for such an important duty.
Right.
But like
I think it's literally just
not a lot of struggle here. No one's gone
plot
shot
armor.
yet, which
it's plot
honestly
armor.
Disappointing. Like, I want to see Kieran get shot. I don't think it's realistic, but I would really like him to.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will.
Yeah, there's still time, Fwoot.
Until they all come out of there like intact, like there's a big I think there's a big chance that one of them will get shot. And my bet's on Kieran too. What I kind of liked is how they have like a good team chemistry, I found.
Yeah, they work really well.
Mm-hmm. Like Lauren and Kym and Will, like they've been in the police force for a while, so they're used to working together. So I guess some of that carried over, even though they don't know, or they're not supposed to know who the other is.
And remember like that one episode where it's Will and Lauren working together to take down that thief? Like, I mean, their like cooperation is translating really well into Lune, even if Lauren doesn't know that Will knows it's her.
So we go on. Will is checking up on Kym and she says she's fine.
I find it sweet, like that he cares about her. I think it's a shippy moment.
Yes. And then he radios I guess it's Herman on the line. This is Lieutenant Hart reporting from the Lloyd glass factory, and he confirms around 25 to 30 guards are now incapacitated on the premises.
And he's checking the guy's pulse because Will also kind of doesn't want them dead, you know? So he's checking to make sure that he's alive, which I find indicative of Will, you know, being a more gentle person.
Right, and then the other line, we're just around the corner, Sergeant. So that's not good for Lune. They have to get out of there ASAP before the reinforcements come in. You two have your eyes on Lune. So I find that odd that they have a basement full of explosives, yet they're focused on catching the vigilantes. Like, really?
Yep. Well, the truth is actually, I mean, Lune is a source of information, and especially with this factory, right? They just got like a call, hey, there's a thing full of nitroglycerin, and you know, the APD doesn't know anything about it. I can also, besides for like, wanting to capture Lune, you know, with a vigilante aspect, I think that they also like immediately want information on like what is going on with this factory. Like, they're probably would be hoping to get some information out of them.
Oh yeah, it's honestly, I never really thought about that, mainly because I didn't think about this episode a lot because I've been doing a lot, so I haven't had much time, and I haven't really taken part in a lot of discussions around this episode. So I really like that idea because Lune has a habit of disappearing right when the police arrive. So it kind of makes sense for them to try and arrest Lune and have Lune like actually still around when, like, you know, the other police get there, especially like for something so serious as this. So like, that's actually kind of smart. I didn't think about that.
That's true. So I guess we get to Lauren and Kieran. They're back to back and they're still keeping count. So she's at 8, he's at 10. And
darling, sorry, I have to say it again.
Darling, yes.
Okay.
The darlings in one episode. What is going on?
Y'all getting hit with that nostalgia right now.
It doesn't even, I don't care, like, it's not even about nostalgia, it's about the present. And
exactly. Lauren's like, did I just make myself lose by coming up with that plan? Oh, is she referring to the competition, like keeping competition of how many people they knock out? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, because she came up with the elevator idea. He counts it, even though it was her idea. He's the one who executed it, so he knocked them out with the boxes.
That's not fair. Oh, this should count towards both.
Lauren and Kieran are so effective, like when they make it a competition. Like at this point, they could probably take out systemic oppression in like classism if they made it a competition. Like Lune would be, if Lune's purpose was like complete competition, they would have found the leader by now, mainly just to spite the other.
Yeah. By the way, I'm very competitive and I always use that as a motivator. Like, I recognize that it it spurs me on and I perform better with competition. So like I seek out situations where there is competition so that I can perform better.
It kind of goes both ways for me. Like if there's a competition, but I have no shot at being in the competition, then I usually get discouraged. But if I have a shot, then I kind of give it my all. So yeah, it's good and bad.
This is okay. You guys are gonna get like kind of annoyed because like I'm just getting a little deep here on like a joke, but I think competition can be good, but it also can be bad, and that is like if I tie it into real world issues like capitalism, where like you expect like everyone to be super individualistic and earn stuff, like, you know, earn quotations, because it's competition, and you expect companies that with competition they'll make better products to sort of, you know, I don't know, beat out their other competitors. It can be a harmful mindset that this is the best way to do things, because then it can lead to overworking employees, and then also just monopolies and stuff like that if there isn't a competition.
And even between people, like over competition can be very toxic.
Everything in moderation.
Exactly.
So like some competition is good, but you know, driving an entire economic system on it kind of just leads to a shrinking middle class and people exploiting their own employees. And that's why I'm a communist. Not really, actually.
Socialism.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess this would be the point to mention that I just finished an MBA, which is obviously, you know, capitalism school. I have a friend who's very progressive, so he always makes fun of me. He's like, "We just went to capitalism school." Like,
capitalism is cool until it exploits the people who work in that system, which is capitalism. Capitalism, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, but capitalism is competition. So
I'm just gonna move on.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about economics. So. All right, so we go back to the chapter. So Kym is keeping an eye on Lune.
Oh, by the way, I was like, they're totally oblivious to the danger they're in. When I read this first, I was like, what are you doing? Like what, you're not even thinking of self-preservation. Like they're on their radio. You should be thinking like, let's scram. And they're just like arguing with each other. I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you two?
I feel like Lune's like kind of switched dynamics for a moment there.
I think like, is it that Lauren has let her guard down because they are her friends? Like she's forgotten the situation that she's in, and she's like, oh, they're my friends, they've got my back like usual, but not really.
Maybe in like, she's convincing herself that they don't know who she is, because, you know, she realized that like earlier, you know, she thought for sure she recognized her, then she kind of realized maybe she didn't recognize her. I don't know, the truth is we're the ones who saw that Kym wasn't sure, but I don't know if Lauren did. But yeah, she definitely is not being careful, and I think that them being friends, like you said, is a big part of it.
And I guess her not speaking to them, or not like assuming that they know, I guess she's willing to sink with that ship that like they haven't figured her out.
People, anyways, like, you know, make themselves believe things that they want to believe.
Oh, that's true. So Kym is on the radio. No, sir. It's kind of funny. Like, isn't radio like both ways? Like, whatever he's like, it's showing as if they're having a cell phone conversation. We should be hearing what's on the other side.
By the way, I read this like I did not understand what was going on, because I was like, why is she saying yes, sir? They've been, and then no, sir. I was like, because I thought she was still answering the question, do you see, you know, do you see, because we do see like some part of the conversation, right? Do you two have eyes on Lune? So I first thought she was like saying yes, and then she said no, because she was like covering for them. But then I realized that, yeah, we're missing that interaction. Like he must have, whoever she's talking to must have said something in between. So I didn't understand that the first time.
Oh yeah, I think the no sir was put there to mislead us, like to make us think that, you know, Kym is gonna let them go, but she actually is not gonna. And she seems conflicted, like you have her mouth in like a flat line. Understood.
And also notice, like both of those times when she says no sir and understood, the panels go red. obviously it's like a sign of danger and
Oh, like a
threat.
flashing light. There's a flashing light.
Yeah, because like red light often is used to signify danger, and oh yeah, danger is what's coming.
So I guess Zach Kieran motioning them to follow, and he and Lauren run off, and Will gives her a pat. How sweet.
That expression on his face.
So
it's so
they definitely
anguish.
know. They definitely know that expression. Like they have to know.
It is so well drawn. It is like that expression is like pain and knowledge. It's so painful.
You could tell how conflicted he is. Oh, and Kym drops her radio, and her hand is shaking, and they follow. It's like down like a narrow hallway, and then you have like a shadow over Kym's face, and oh gosh, you could tell something's about to happen. Well, this has been a fun double date.
Yeah, before even that, Will and Kym have both drawn their guns, and Lauren also has her gun out. I don't really know why. I guess maybe because they're yeah, I guess for Lauren, you can say, oh, maybe she's anticipating running into more 𝗪𝗂𝗃𝗃 members, but like the fact that Will and Kym are like pulling out their guns should be scary.
I thought it was them just being on high alert in case something comes up, but yeah, they're. Oh God. So then Kym says this has been a fun double date, only stressful and unromantic. And then she lies saying, I'm glad we worked together today. And Lauren is shocked at the lie. Wait, what? And then Kym cocks her gun and points it at Lauren. Lauren turns around slowly. Oh my God. And then, Lune, you're under arrest. Gosh, that was so dramatic and so well drawn. Like, I love that part.
The shadows around Lauren's, or like the lines around Lauren's eyes when she turns, ooh. And then the reflection of the gun in her pupil.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. Stunning. Absolutely.
And then with the red lights and everything, it's just perfect.
That long horizontal shot of Kym, with her gun on her face. Amazing.
It reminds me of another panel, but I can't remember what. Like, oh, maybe the one where Kieran and Lauren were pointing weapons at each other, and 26, I believe. Like he has a knife. Somebody has a knife.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That long panel where it's like Kym with her gun against Lauren, and also the Lauren eye panel. It reminds me of the steak interrogation.
Yeah, the reflection. They use that quite a few times where like we see something important reflected in the eyes of another character. It's very, very compelling and interesting. Like we've seen it with like, I remember like the Kieran childhood scene, and yeah, it's been used before. It's really good. Oh gosh, and the last two panels where like first you see Kym and the gun is in focus, and then you see her in focus, and like that expression in her eyes. Oh my God, where like she doesn't want to do this, but she has to. And okay, so this is a total shock. We were all expecting that Will would be the one to like struggle with turning them in, and like we remember we said this on the episode of Fwoot. It was an episode with Meg. We're like, yeah, Kym will be totally fine.
Yeah, I remember this. Yep. I remember.
I literally have that in my notes right now.
I was like, I remember reading this and being like, oh my freaking God, the one person I didn't think, because I mean, him has been set up to be empathetic with Lune. It's not like she would turn. It didn't make sense for her to turn on them like up to that point in the story. And I do remember thinking like it felt a little bit out of character for Kym, but I guess I can kind of see it, especially with the orders. But like, I don't know how I feel about this. And it's not because like it's different from like literally anyone else who I thought would betray Lauren. It's just that, would Kym actually pull a gun out on them? And like a lot of people said that like, yeah, Kym would be angry, and it makes sense for Kym to be angry at this point because Lauren did kind of lie to her and did hide this from her. But like, I don't know, because it's weird because Lauren never explicitly lied to Kym. She never said, no, I'm not Lune or anything.
Yeah, but she also didn't
never
tell
asked.
anything. It's just
I know.
your best friend. Oh my God. Yeah. I would be pissed.
Like, it makes sense that like Kym would be just shook at this double life. But then like, I don't know. Lauren did what she did to protect Kym, and I feel like Kym would have recognized that. But like, it also makes sense for Kym to be mad.
So maybe there's more than, sorry, go ahead, Lily. What were you gonna say?
Sorry, I think that Kym's definitely gonna let them get away. Like she sure has to put up the illusion that she's trying to arrest them, but she'll miss the shots on purpose. Like you could tell by her eyes, like she does not want to do this. Like her heart is not in this, so she's definitely not.
Yeah, I don't
gonna put much effort into it. Like she will put the illusion that, you know.
But for what purpose? Like I don't see her going through the motions and only to let them get away. Like who is she trying to prove it to? Herman? Like is she gonna tell him, oh yeah, I tried? Like what does she do? I think that if she's doing it, she means it. Like that's what I think, at least.
But she doesn't really have, but like I don't know, she personally doesn't really have much of a motive to like physically harm Lune, because she puts a gun to their head. She puts a gun to Lauren's forehead. I don't think we're talking about that. She puts a literal gun to her best friend's forehead.
There goes the friendship.
That's not safe, bro. That is not safe. I hope her safety is on, because if she accidentally pulls that trigger, Lauren is gone.
But then why is she? I don't know. But
somebody. Okay.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Somebody on Discord came up with this theory. They said, "What if maybe it was Luna, that maybe Kym's sister Danae died because she did some vigilante.
That's what I was thinking.
And maybe Kym doesn't want that to happen to Lauren, so she wants to stop her and get her arrested so that she can keep her safe."
I don't remember if I said anything about this, but I was thinking, maybe I said it on the side server, but I was thinking that the reason Kym is reacting the way she is, because I don't really see this as very in character for her, though I'm not the author, so I don't know what's best. I want to say that F and Soph will always know more about the characters than we will, because they are the creators. So like, I don't want to step on what they've been writing. I didn't really see it coming, mainly because I didn't expect it from Kym, because I never really perceived her character as this way. And I was thinking a little bit about it, like right after, like what would make Kym act so, I don't know, radically like this? Not radical, I can't think of the right word. And I think it's because it would relate to something that happened to Kym in the past, which is why she's acting so emotionally. Because every time that Kym has acted with some sort of like, or every time that Kym has had like a really big moment, it has related to something that happened in her past, and we always assume that would be Dana. So and there's been theories that Dana was like a spy of some sort. So Kym is probably reliving those motions and reliving that trauma right now. And that's why I was thinking that like, if she arrests Lauren, then she's protecting Lauren. Like, but in Kym's mind, she can protect Lauren by arresting her.
Because back in, I don't know, remember when they were talking to March, and then they said that when they reveal Lune's identity, it's pretty much a death sentence, because the PS will go after them, and then they're definitely not gonna let them live. I don't know if you remember that scene. But somebody said it's literally a death sentence to expose Lune, and everybody just seemed pretty conflicted about it. So her exposing Lauren just means that she's sending her friend to the slaughterhouse, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So Monday night, I said Kym might be arresting her to protect her, because maybe something happened with Dana, and if Dana was arrested, she would still be around, but because she evaded police, she ended up dead. So I think that's my personal take on why Kym acted this way. Because I think Kym would also recognize that Lune works best without police interference.
Yeah, well, we talked already about Herman being a control freak, so I don't think he's capable of recognizing that. Like, we know that, and probably the regular people in the APD recognize that Lune should be left alone, but Herman can't tolerate that.
I don't know if it's like a control issue, like a control freak issue, but I think it's also the law does not apply to Lauren and Kieran when they work as Lune, which isn't fair because, like, you know, they basically kidnapped some people or, like, you know, tied up some people, and they definitely did somewhat should have been illegal things in their methods. Like, I don't know, what they did with Onslow was a little sketchy, right? You know, threatening him with violence, you know, cutting off his fingers, and with McTrevor they threatened to like cut out his eye or something. So like that shouldn't really be legal, but they're still getting away with it and they're operating outside the law. And it is that question that, like, in Marvel movies they try to cover, like, do superhuman people deserve to operate outside of the law, and does the law is the law a barrier to them? And I personally say that no, they shouldn't get to work outside the law. There should be regulations for superhuman people. And that just told everyone who listens to this podcast that I am Team Iron Man, and I am unregrettably Team Iron Man. I do think that, like, it can be dangerous because, again, like, it's with police. Like, how do you know who's a good apple and how do you know who's a bad apple? You really can't tell. And that is just a liability and a danger to civilians.
But I guess that's one of the themes in the story, that sometimes, like, those institutions that are built to protect people might not be enough to protect people. Mm-hmm. That sounds so, like, eloquent, but nope.
Yeah, and ironically, again, that is how the Phantom Scythe rose. The Phantom Scythe rose because it wanted to be heard, because before, when it protested peacefully as Snapdragon, it was literally, you know, killed off. And so to what means is justice justified?
Yeah, I think there's also, besides for the, like, the justice part, there's the competence part, and there's, like, the getting stuff done, because the APD wasn't getting any clues and to help them for 10 years. So besides for the, like, you know, using illicit interrogation methods, there's also the fact that they're getting stuff done by using those methods, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so it's also getting stuff done, but, like, doesn't justify what they're doing. Like, they still Lune ended up still hurting people, like, or at least, you know, doing illegal stuff. And Lune, Kieran killed
I mean, the people that they interrogated were not really hurt, and they did bad things.
Kieran killed someone as Lune, even if it was in self-defense. He still ended up committing murder under the Lune name.
I wouldn't call it murder. I would call it homicide, because it was in self-defense.
It was self-defense, but someone still died, and that is kind of illegal. Like,
I think to prevent yourself from dying, you were definitely allowed to kill someone. I mean, the guy was an assassin, just like him.
But again, the death penalty, is death justice? Like,
I think in most societies, like, when someone's coming to kill you, like, people understand that you do whatever you can to stop it, you know, even if it results in the death of the other person.
Yeah. But again, that, like, Lune has kidnapped people. They have used physical aggression against people. They've threatened the lives of other people, all for their own benefit. So that's not really illegal, and it was effective in their investigation, but it's also, like, really questionable.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think that is the, you know, something that we're supposed to be discussing in the story, because, you know, that's the whole thing, like Lauren was unsure about, and what am I doing, and, you know, so yeah. So guys,
like, nobody's saying that, like, Lune shouldn't be arrested. Sorry, Mindy. But I'm just saying, like, they shouldn't prioritize arresting Lune over whatever is happening.
The nitroglycerin is more important. Arresting Lune is for later if they need to.
Yeah.
But again, I think also the arresting Lune is to prevent Lune from getting away, because Lune has, like Mindy suggested, because Lune has slipped through the police's fingers more than once.
It's kind of funny because they've been figuring out information on the go. Like, it's not like, you know, they have a wealth of information that they're gonna like, you know, willing to share. No, like they've been literally like figuring things out as they go. Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen next week?
I think this is another fake out, honestly. I don't think this is the actual betrayal. Mainly
because that's the other question. Is this the betrayal that 𝗥𝗲𝗍 was talking about, that the fortune teller was talking about?
I mean, it makes sense because it's the end of the first season, but I think the betrayal is actually for the end of season 2. So I think this is a fake out.
I think they're gonna let them get away. It's like, oops, they got away. And then when they're asked to give descriptions for Lune, like they're gonna be so vague, like they're not gonna give anything that will like divulge or like not gonna help identify them. Kind of like, you know, Lauren's description of Kieran, like in the early episodes, she's like, oh, black hair and tall and whatever. Like it just narrows it down to like half the male population in the city, probably.
Yeah,
so,
she saw his face and that's all she could say.
So I'm kind of hoping for like talking. I'm hoping for something for Lauren to say like, you can't do this, or like, I don't know, I'm important, like don't arrest me or something. I'm hoping for some verbal communication.
You know, the last few panels, instead of Lune, I thought Kym said Lauren, and then Lauren freaked out and turned around, but it was Lune. I like panicked there for a sec.
It would have been so much funnier though if she said Lauren, like R.I.P. double homicide.
So I've seen people theorize that maybe Kieran is gonna, you know, I don't know, knock the gun out of Kym's hand and then they're gonna escape. So I see that being plausible. I let myself consider for a second what would happen if like Lauren and Kieran, I don't know about Kieran, but Lauren landed up in jail and her whole life was ruined. I'm like, whoa, that would be a crazy direction for the story to take. Like, I don't see it happening because I feel like the ball is coming up and they kind of have to be like present for the ball, but it would be so like crazy if she actually landed up in jail.
Honestly, I'm like, I can't believe I don't know. I mean, I think it's partly like just PH burnout talking, but I'm like, we're doing this again? Seriously? Because like, you know, 20-ish episodes ago, Lauren was already being framed for murder and she was about to get arrested, right? She had a police presence with her at like almost all times. We're seriously doing this again? Like, that's what we're doing? Like, didn't we already do this? Didn't we already go through this? Do we have to do this again?
That's kind of part of the reason why I don't think they will like rat them out like Kym and Will.
But think about this, she has to go back to work even if they escape, right? The next day, who's going to meet in the office and what is going to happen?
Will everybody just pretend that nothing happened and just God, like it's like one of those things like unspoken, like everybody avoids the topic because you know it's not.
Okay, so you guys know how I really want Lune to end up in the tunnels, but I can also see it being Lauren and Kym ending up in the tunnels. I think it would work better though, like narratively, if it was Lauren and Kieran, because Kieran is in the Phantom Scythe. So like he might know his way somewhere around the tunnels and we might get to learn a bit more about him, like if he recognizes some stuff. But I think it could also work like really well with Lauren and Kym. Because
I think Kym and Kieran.
Yeah, I think after this, like in the next 5-ish episodes, there has to be a moment where Lauren and Kym sit down and they acknowledge what happened and they have a discussion about it. Like, I don't know, maybe they're at the cafe. That would be a nice touch. Like, you know, just some narrative parallels. But yeah.
And then Mr. Evans shows up. Sorry.
He has
okay. Sure. But yeah, there has to be a moment where they sit down and Kym's like, okay, you have to explain this. And maybe not a cafe because that's
maybe not in a public place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But like, I'm hoping for a moment, and I can really see a moment where they have this discussion, and we probably won't see it, but we'll know it happened. Like, we'll see the beginning of it and then like the end of it. And basically Lauren can explain everything to Kym.
Well, we now have 2 episodes left till the mid-season like hiatus, and we know the graph and it goes up. So I'm like, what is going on?
Really? It's gonna go on episode 100?
Down a little and then it goes way up for 100.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm still curious. Like I can't predict what that crazy spike is going to consist of.
I mean, does it get worse than this? No.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get worse than this, except somehow it does.
It does. I'm terrified.
2 weeks. We have 2 weeks. So we'll find out. Well, any final thoughts on the episode?
Actually, I have one thing. I kind of wish back when Kym and Will were at the cafe, like when Kym told him that she suspects Lauren is Lune, I kind of wish we saw his reaction. Like, did he believe her? Did he doubt her? Was he angry? Like, it just kind of, I really wish we saw his reaction before they
a bit of a
ran
missed
into each other.
opportunity.
But
you know, I can also see that the next episode starts with a flashback, or maybe episode 10, because episode 10, because it's like, you know, the mid-season finale, it might be a little bit longer, like, you know,
episode 100, you mean?
Yeah, or sorry, yeah, episode 100. I'm so disappointed in myself.
No.
But yeah, I can like see there being a flashback in some point in the next 2 episodes, because you know, especially with like how the season 1 finale went, there's probably going to be some big flashback reveal.
Yeah, I think that what he told Kym when they were under the steps with the bucket, he told her, you know, we don't know for sure, like if it's Lauren. So I think from there we can infer that he doesn't know, like he doesn't feel like he was able to know for sure at that point, at least.
Yeah,
or he doesn't want to believe it.
Denial.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me too, Will. I'm in denial of every bad thing happening around me too.
His childhood best friend, yeah.
Especially after that little talk on the balcony, like he opened up to her so much, and then a few days later he finds out that she's like, not good.
Oh yeah, that was like so soon. Damn. R.I.P. Will.
So you have like 2 friendships breaking down.
Oh my God. Like, I can like after this, like, imagine like Will realizes that like Will knows that Lauren and Kieran are Lune. Will knows that Kym would turn on her friends and put a gun to their head. And so at one point we just get a scene where Will is third wheeling on a Lula date and he's like, "You're the only people I can trust anymore."
No, I think that it's pretty clear that Will supported Kym in arresting them because he gives her that pat and like that encouraging glance. So yeah.
It's this season, like all of Lauren's interpersonal relationships are being put to like to the test. All of them. If they haven't, they will be.
My favorite moment of Lauren questioning was probably episode 67. Like, she had a total bi crisis in that episode.
Wait, Lauren wasn't in 67.
Oh, sorry, not 65. Oh my, yeah, something about me. I can't say numbers. 85. 87.
87.
Bi crisis episode.
Oh yeah, with Darcy.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, that was fun. I want them to interact again.
Yeah. I need more Lauren and Darcy moments, and I need Will and Darcy moments. Like, I want to see their friendship. I would literally sell my arm for their friendship and to like see them have a good, healthy friendship and like just, you know, chill out and be rich, I guess.
Yeah, but like the fact the position they're being put in by the families, it makes that a little hard.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, again, I would sell my arm for a Kiwi friendship with Darcy.
We'll find out. Well, guys, I will see each other in places. We'll see what happens in the next 2 episodes. Nervous.
I will be sending Oh yeah, I will be sending Soph and F the therapy bill.
Therapy bill.
Yeah, I
Soph
expect
and F
to
are
pay by
saving
the end
me.
of the
They're
week.
saving me a therapy bill.
I hope we have a big budget for therapy bills, because yeah.
All of us rolling our eyes with all the crying. Well, thanks so much. It was a delight as usual, and have a wonderful night.
You
Thank
too.
you for
Good night.
having us.
Thank you.
Thanks.